Hello, I'm Tami Gingrow, and this is Elizabeth Lynch.
Hello.
We're representing both Reimagine Fayette County, where we are working to build NuAeon at Venus Rising regenerative communities, and Body and Balance about achieving optimal health holistically now. So we have decided this year of 2026 to hold these monthly conscious conversations as a way of introducing you to ideas that you may not be familiar with, or expanding your horizons, or just giving you a place where you can actually show up and participate in these conscious conversations so that you can be putting these principles to work immediately. Do you want to say anything, Elizabeth?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, so as we're recording this, it's January 2026, but these principles are timeless. So whenever you come to this, it is absolutely meant for you. Now, we've titled today Resolution Revolution, and that's because we all know that the practice of setting a New Year's resolution does not really work. There are loads of statistics out there, but the most important one is that by the end of the year, 80% of us have not achieved those resolutions. And the statistics are staggering by how many people have already shelved them by the 14th day of the new year. However, manifestation does work. And yet, a lot of us may have confusion around the actual tool belt of how to maximize it. So, Elizabeth and I, and all of us, are focusing on different aspects of this. So, when we come together in conversation and blend together, so this is not really rehearsed. Elizabeth has things she's been working on, I have things I've been working on, and we shall all see how it unfolds and how you can put it into practice today. So, we're going to start out with Elizabeth's pieces.
Yeah, this will be a fun, playful, we'll just see what happens. So the idea is that the way that we get results stems from something deeper. So we have at the deepest level, it's our, well, I don't want to say the deepest because there are even deeper levels, but what we believe is going to dictate what we think. Our beliefs are filters, lenses that we see the world through. And so that determines what we think, what thoughts we have, and then our thoughts dictate how we feel. And then based on how we feel and what our emotions are, then we take certain actions, and then those actions produce results. So if we have certain beliefs, they're going to produce certain results. So if we're not getting the results that we want, we should shift it at the highest level that we can. And then there are even higher levels than that, because if we remember that we're divine beings and powerful creators, we have our beliefs, and then beyond that is our identity. Who am I? And then beyond that is our soul. So the higher the level that we change at, it ripples down through all these other things and we get different results. So our the way that the mind works is we have the conscious mind, which is what we think and what we're aware of, and that is 5% of what our experience is. 95% is the subconscious mind, which is taking in so much sensory information. It's so much that we can't hold it all in our conscious minds. But the subconscious mind has like the file cabinet of every experience we've ever had, and the programming that we've had from the time that we were babies through 8 years old is when most of our programming happens. When I'm so sorry, can we pause a second? Okay, thank you for that. All right, so what we're going to do today is a three-step process. So step one is really feeling where we are now and comparing that with where we want to be, where this resolution that we wanted to make is, where that lives, and feeling the discon like the gap, the space between those. Step two is why aren't we there yet? And clearing out what needs to be cleared out to get us there. And then step three is to magnify and magnetize that to us. So step one is, so what is the resolution that you made this year, or what is it that you really want? What's the deeper why behind the resolution? What's the real reason that you want what you want? And what's the longing and discontent around this? It's painful to not be where we want to be yet. There's a pain to it, there's a longing for it. And we're told to be grateful for what we have, but we're not meant to settle. We're meant to do more. We're meant to live our purpose and to be great. And that longing and that discontent is a message. It's a message from our higher selves. It's a message from the universe. It's a pull towards what we're meant to be, our greater purpose. So yes, we could be grateful for what we have, and we could want more. And we're supposed to follow our bliss. So, what's the reason that you want what you want? And your why has to be bigger than the fears that arise around it. Because anytime that we do something new or something different, fears come up. Our brains are wired for safety. Our nervous systems are wired for safety. So when we go outside of our patterns and our normal day-to-day, here's what I do, here's what I do, when you try to do something differently, your body goes, whoa, wait a minute, stop, this is crazy, this is scary, this is unknown. And fears start to come up. So you have to really supercharge your reason behind what you want to do, and really feel that. And anytime that you supercharge something, use all of your senses, really visualize it, really feel it, use your emotions, and really feel the power of it. And a little saying with these fears that come up is, God doesn't call the qualified, God qualifies the called. So you don't have to be perfect to step into your purpose. You're going to take the steps, all the baby steps that you need to take, and the doors are going to open for you along the way. And then the other thing is that a lot of people blame the circumstances. Oh, well, my situation is like this, so I haven't done that yet because here's my situation, here's this and that came up and this came up. But you can't blame it on the circumstances, because if you think about people, two different people with the same set of circumstances, they're going to have different results from each other. And then that goes back to how they show up based on what they believe and what they think and what they feel and what they do. And then also, life is short and the clock is ticking. And this is the life that we're in right now. So it's time now to do it, because if you wait, then you wait, then you wait and keep putting it off. So what I want you to do right now is really feel your current situation and feel that longing for what you want. Feel the pain of not having that yet, not doing that yet, not being there yet. And if nothing changes and you stay stuck here and you don't reach your goal, what does that cost you? What's the cost of being stuck here? What are you missing out on? What's it costing you financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically? Really feel into that and turn up that dial. But what would you really love? And what's the difference that you would love to make? And how will you feel when you've made this impact? What does it mean to step into your purpose? And I choose to act now, and now is the time because what are three reasons that right now is the time for you to act? Tami, I saw that you were doing it. Did you really feel it?
I did for sure. It does hurt to not be where we want to be. And for me, I don't want to, I have four grown daughters. I want to leave a legacy for my daughters. And I am not where I want to be financially, especially. And that's because I've chosen to make a big shift. And that tiger of fear has been on my leg hardcore, but I have worked through it before and I shall work through it again.
Yeah, let's spiral out of here.
Yes.
So there are reasons why we keep ourselves at our like thermostat set point, right? So that's based in our limiting beliefs. So if we try to like do the steps it takes to get out of here, but then we find ourselves, oh well, I'm still here. I didn't break through that ceiling yet. Then it means that there's some kind of programming that needs to be shifted. So feeling that really strong pull, the pain of being stuck here, not having what you want. Why haven't you gotten the results that you want yet? What are the stories that you're telling yourself around this? So identify the limiting belief around this. And the example that I will give for something that I did recently was I one of my childhood traumas resulted in me hiding and not wanting to show up. And when I was invited to things, I would just not go. And I would, just not do things with friends. I would not show up. I wouldn't do a webinar like this. I was hiding. And then, well, why am I hiding? What's deeper beyond that? And it was I'm not worthy. I don't belong, right? So, like, really get down to the core of what it is that you're telling yourself. Why aren't you there yet? Why haven't you broken through the ceiling yet? Once you have that, I'm just going to do that. We're going to go through this really fast. And I'm going to be talking to your subconscious mind and not giving your conscious mind a chance to hop in there. So, this is going to be a fast process. So, do you have your limiting belief? All right. How long have you been telling yourself this? What's one negative consequence that this has cost you in the past? In the future, what is a negative consequence that this will cost you? And now think further out into the future. Now we're 10 years out. What's another negative consequence that this will cost you if this is still the story in 10 years? Is this who you are? Do you really have all the information to believe this? Are you ready to be aware that this is a big fat lie? What does this cause you to feel, experience, and behave because of this belief? How do you show up? Is this really who you are? If this were a lie, how would you feel and behave instead? Yeah, that's right. Turn that up, amplify that, feel that stronger. That's what we want. So what's the opposite of that old lie? Let's choose a new truth. The truth is, I am, yeah, yes, you are. Say that stronger. I am. This new truth, this new truth, what's one reason that you know that this is true? Mm-hmm. What's the second reason you know this is true? Yeah. What's a third reason you know this is true? Yeah, say it stronger. This is my new truth. All right, now imagine going into the future 3 months from now, and now you're acting from this new truth, this new belief. Now, how are you showing up? Now, how does it feel? Yeah, make that a 10 of certainty. Turn that one up. Really feel into it. Now, imagine going out a year from now and seeing yourself acting from this new belief. What are you doing differently? And turn that up. Make that a 10 of certainty. Now say it one more time. I am. What's this new belief? Yeah, that's it. Now celebrate your new belief. Yeah, so now we've cleared out what we don't want. We've replaced it with what we do want, with what is actually aligned with us, who we really are. And now we get to supercharge that. How did that feel?
It feels good. It feels good to dive in um, to consciously peel away those layers that are dimming our light. And for me, I've dealt with a lot of unworthiness, and since I was in the womb, I believe. So it's and these things come in spirals. So when you, especially if you've been doing a lot of work and then you find yourself, I can be particularly hard on myself, but then we have to remember that they spiral. Life is a spiral, and there's always that next layer, of deeper soul growth and our soul's evolution. So, shall we move on to the next pieces? Okay, I have a couple of diagrams that I would like to share, and it occurred to me it might have been helpful to share them even sooner. Um, and here we are, all in divine timing. So this one is from, I wonder if I can, anyway, this is from the Sacred System, which is Amy Moscow's work. I am a sacred guide. My whole table is spread out here with tons of laminates. We use sacred geometry, affirmations, intentions, and visualizations. And what I like about this diagram in particular is that it can show, first of all, the most important is on a planetary level, we must proactively and aggressively, I believe, and just to tune in, I base my life on astrology. Whether you are aware of it or not, we are feeling the energies. And right now, we've got Neptune, which has been in its own sign of Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac for the last 14 years. We're all likely experiencing an increased level of dream time as a result. But Neptune is about to move into the first sign of the zodiac, Aries, which is a fire sign, just before we move into the Chinese year of the fire horse. And this ignites the spiritual warrior in all of us. And the powers that never should have been are feeding our fear constantly. So it's not only our own subconscious that we have to dive into, we've got to be proactive spiritual warriors and be love, because the vibration of love is the highest vibration. And the way that I believe, the only way that humans are going to evolve and survive the chaos of the patriarchy. So turning fear into love, anger into gratitude. And we're going to feel anger. So by knowing that gratitude is an antidote, when you feel angry, we've got to forgive. And you can forgive by being grateful. From disempowered to empowered, hopelessness to hope, from external, the fault is outside of me, to internal, personal responsibility for my world, for the world that I've created and the world that I am co-creating, the world that I want to live in now. From stagnation, which can be caused by fear, to creativity. And when you asked, what is the one power? I am a creator. I am a creator. And from inaction to activation, from my heart being closed to my heart being open. Two other diagrams. We're not just this physical layer. And you may even believe, like I do, that you are an infinite, eternal spirit having a human experience. And we're not just this physical body. You may have heard of your chakras. You may have even done some chakra attuning. But this diagram shows our little physical body. I love that the root chakra kind of looks like a penis. That's what I thought it was at first. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, that's the root chakra. So we've got the first level is our etheric level, which is the matrix upon which the body tissue is fortified and healing is becoming fit and strong. I have other notes over here that I took before pulling up this. The physical layer is where we can see and touch and where our thoughts take initial form. The second level, which is right around our physical layer, it's there. Our emotions are real and palpable, and we must tap into how we feel. Emotions are the fuel for our manifestation. So if we allow ourselves to remain in these lower vibrational frequencies, we will block what we have asked for. So if you pray or ask the universe for something, but then you retreat right back into your turtle shell of fear, doubt, unworthiness, the story that was never yours. It was never yours. We've adopted it from external sources. Healing is having unconditional love for yourself. And once we have mastered that unconditional love for the self, that's where we can then love another. Then we've got the third layer, the mental layer. So you see that our thoughts are kind of this shell around our emotion. So we've got to take control of our thoughts. When a negative thought pops up, recognize it, allow it, dismiss it, replace it with, I am a creator. I am powerful. I am love. I am an abundant being. I reclaim my birthright of divine abundance. These are just a few of the kinds of intentions and affirmations that I state for myself. So this is the logical mind where healing is a creative and positive thought form. The fourth layer around that is our astral layer. Now, there's also a different way of looking at this. The physical layer encompasses the emotional and mental layers. Then we come into the astral layer, which is a series of layers. And this is the record of all past experiences, including relationships, childhood, and past lives. And where healing is unconditional and where we begin to experience love for others. And part of that is recognizing there is no separation. We have all been all things in some lifetime. And We've got to, and separation is not even real. Like God is not separate from us, God's source, however you choose to look at that. We have separated ourselves from God. The fifth level um, is this divine will and structure. Healing is gaining a sense of truth and purpose. The sixth layer, the celestial layer, where divine love, the angelic realm, healing is unconditional and love for all of creation. And then the seventh level is this causal level, where what we have asked for is there, everything we've ever asked for. I even have this belief that in past lives, we have left an inheritance for ourselves. So I often say, I am calling forth my gifts, talents, and abilities from all timelines to be accessible and available to me now. This is remembering the perfection in all life. And then this other image is similar and just puts it in. I probably should have showed this first, where the physical plane is physical, etheric, emotional, and mental. The astral plane, astral body, and then etheric, celestial, and causal body are all a part of that spiritual plane. So bringing this into manifestation and how we manifest, our heart is certainly an organ that pumps blood through our body. It's also our energetic powerhouse, our energetic center. And our heart is actually an electromagnetic field that extends way out beyond our body. And this is something that can actually be measured and studied. It is not woo-woo. It is an actual measurable electromagnetic frequency. And similarly, your brain produces a measurable frequency. It can be measured, it can be studied, and it can be modified. And you and I are the modifier. So when we talk about frequency, my word for 2025 was intimagnetismacy. I combined intimate with magnetism. I want to be really intimate with what I am attracting and choosing and deliberate about what I am attracting. So remember when we used to have a radio with a dial? If you're young, you may not have ever used a radio. But if you want to listen to 91.3, you can't tune in to 88.7. So we can adjust our frequency to align with that field of magnetism. So this we do by reprogramming our subconscious, overriding those limiting beliefs that have taken hold like a cancer. They can be like a cancer of the psyche, and it can spread. And it's palpable, right? If you've ever been depressed, that can be palpable. It feels like a weight because it is. It's called lower vibrational or lower density. So it does, it feels like a wet, moldy blanket of darkness. And it's not only shielding perhaps like the light of the sun, it is worse, shielding your own inner radiance. So this work for me is about revealing your radiance. My word for this year, 2026, is effulgent, peeling away all of those masks and all of those layers so that the bright light of my heart and my heart-mind coherence is shining, overflowing. I'm connected to the infinite source of light that is streaming to us and through us. And that is measurable too. We have been experiencing unprecedented solar flares these last 3 days, coronal mass ejections, which are directed towards the Earth. Sometimes the sun can have these ejections and they're facing out into the galaxy, but these ones are directed towards our Earth at this time of unprecedented transformation. So, how we modify these fields, manifestation takes time, right? Maybe you want to heat your tea and you have to turn on the fire, and it takes so much time before that fire heats the water to the right temperature. Sometimes what we ask for could be immediate. It could be like 60 seconds and my tea is heated. But if it's a building that needs to be built or something like that, these things coming into the physical layers can take more time. And there is a way to expedite. As we are multidimensional beings, we are able to take a quantum leap and leap right into the timeline where we already have what it is that we are imagining, that where thoughts become things, then we speak those things into reality. Our words are very powerful. That's why it's like casting a spell. And that's why we want to speak with intention. And no matter how angry you are, be careful with wishing ill upon anybody because those words can come back at you. And that's why they call it spelling. Our words are, what to create words, it's called spelling. Our words are very powerful. So we want to use them intentionally and only speak love. So this quantum coherence, you've heard of heart-mind coherence. It's that act of unifying the heart-mind. We've been told to suppress our feelings, but it is absolutely the age where we must live from our heart. The field of the heart is larger than the field of the mind, and the mind needs to be filtered through the heart before we speak it into existence. So this is a state where our personal field and the field of our desired reality, we create a critical threshold or a portal. I believe that portal is right here in your own heart. And one of the ways to access it is through your breath, learning to use your breath to moderate, to regulate. If you experience anxiety, your breath is about the most powerful tool that you have to calm and regulate the nervous system. If you want to adopt a breathwork practice, reach out. I am a shamanic breathwork practitioner. And so when these two fields are merging, whether we're talking about heart-mind coherence or our personal field and the field of our desires, it's about this quantum coherence and a sustained state of quantum coherence. It takes maintenance to keep this portal open once you have accessed it. So just take a moment, please, and shut down your eyes and take a breath. Inhale. Pause. And then exhale out the mouth. Do you feel any shift already in your field just from that one breath? And now focus on that etheric layer where your thoughts take initial form. And I want you to bring to mind something easy that you can believe, that you can manifest in 24 to 48 hours. It could be making contact with somebody that you already know or somebody new. It can be about a certain sum of money that you need, or an idea that you have coming into form. But bring into your mind something that you want to manifest. And then your astral layer, remember, is just around there where your emotions meet your desires and they exist as living forces. And then just span out a little bit to that causal layer and imagine and realize that everything you have ever asked for is there already. And there's actually so what we want to do is we want to eliminate the barrier between where we are and where we would like to be. And you can imagine this as like a mucus plug in between the physical and the causal layers. And we want to dissolve this, not violently, But if you can imagine that there's a plug or a membrane in between, and you can dissolve it with a little laser point of light. You might even begin to see it melting and morphing like a plasma field. And we're going to unlock this frequency lock and then practice ways of keeping it open. And that is with your attention. So every day you want to go through these stages, realizing that you are a powerful co-creator, imagining your heart and mind like a figure eight, feeding one another, and the light that emanates. And then that light emanates right up, taking away that barrier, that mucous membrane, so that you can actually explore these astral realms. And this is also where we learn to trust our intuition. We all have it. Some people are naturally more tuned in. And this intuitive layer, we have many different tools intuitively. We have clairvoyance, where you may be a visual person, where you may see, and it may be easy for you to visualize the life that you want, or the car that you would like to be driving, or the family that you would like to have, or the lover, the mate to your being that you want to attract. And magnetism works because what you want wants you to. So by consciously breaking through these barriers and spending some time in these astral realms and recognizing that there is a causal layer where these things are already materialized, and we just need to allow them to come into our physical plane of existence. And then you might also imagine this portal as a doorway of some type. I am seeing it right now as just this golden radiance. So it's not like a big heavy vault door that I have to open. It's just something that I have to be courageous enough to take a breath. And as I exhale, I can move right through it. And taking steps like these make it easier and easier to, instead of having to wait here and feeling the absence of these things that we do not yet have, we can step to that timeline, that dimension of myself that is already living with the mate to my being. In my case, it's on 120 pristine acres in the Laurel Highlands, filled with springs and creeks and children laughing and playing, and being educated in nature about things that are really important, where we're working together joyfully and manifesting abundance with ease. So take a breath. I maybe should not have projected my vision onto you here now. So tune into your own vision, but in a way, I'm verbalizing how I do this and how you can see how it can work for you and feel. Most importantly, remembering that your emotions are fuel. So when these negative, lower vibrational emotions and thoughts crop up, feel them, breathe into them, exhale them, and process them, and then tune in to your heart's own true vibration of love, your true vibrational frequency. Reclaim your truth, the truth of who you are, a powerful, infinite, multidimensional being who gets to have a physical experience so that you can create the life of your dreams. You have a unique purpose for being that no one else can fulfill. And it is time, creator, to step into that role. Take a breath. How does it feel? exploring this realm for a few moments longer. Maybe a messenger comes in, maybe it's your higher self, some other dimension of yourself. Maybe your inner child has a message for you that you need to hear. Take a breath and allow yourself to receive these messages from your higher self, from the source, from the universe. Exhale. Softly and gently land back in your physical body. When you feel ready, gently open up your eyes. Take a grounding breath. What happened for you there, Elizabeth?
That was so awesome. Yeah, so I had I had a dual visions, right? So the what could happen in the next 24, 48 hours, I had that vision and it lived um outside of the field up here, right here. And that mucus layer was like that thick. And I was able to clear that out. And my portal was like just like plasma. And it just like I was able to like bloop and it just popped right in. Bloop. So simple and easy. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's the easy one for the next couple of days. But then the community was out here on this side, and that mucus layer was like that thick. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then when you started I mean, like we share a vision. So when you started talking about the children playing in the water and the happiness and the joy of it, I was able to like move in between the mucus layer and like just push it aside. And as you were talking about it, I was like pouring in something to dissolve all the mucus layer around it, and it completely dissolved. And I was able to bloop, open that plasma portal. And then I had to reorient. I reached my arms up out and through. I was like, I'm gonna grab you. And I had to reorient the direction that the land was, and I was able to pull it in all the way in, and it came all the way in, and then I put it inside of my heart. And then the message that I got was, yep, you got this. So cool.
I love that. Yeah, so I feel amazing right now. Like these practices really, really work. And I've got to give Brian Scott a plug. I will never probably create as much content as Brian Scott creates. He has things you can listen to overnight with affirmations and um, energies and so many different short manifestation videos, quantum leaping videos, astral realm videos. So yeah, I recommend, do some things on a daily, oh, excuse me, bubbling up, releasing some of these limiting beliefs. It does happen on the physical level too. So yeah, I just want you to, to keep this open. It needs our attention and daily attention, sometimes hourly attention. So just come up with your own practices and, some things to help you immerse yourself in these types of practices. And let us know in the comments what you're manifesting. And if you did this journey with us, like Elizabeth did, describe, what happened for you. What did your mucus plug look like? And so yeah, keep it alive with communication. And we will be back for these conscious conversations. This is not the third Thursday, but the third Thursday of every month. We'll have a new theme for you. As far as our community, NuAeon at Venus Rising, if you share a similar vision for creating a new aeon, a new earth, I am not focused on trying to, provide CPR to the dead systems. They haven't served us probably ever, and they are certainly past their time. our focus is on creating the world that we do want to live in. And Elizabeth and I cannot do it alone. We need all hands on deck. We've hired the Living the Off the Grid Dream folks to help us write business plans and financial projections so that we can get our land funded. But maybe we need to schedule more visioning sessions where we can come together and, when one person or two people do it, but the more people do it, it amplifies and magnifies our energy and our power to create the world we want to live in.
Yeah, thank you.
Any closing thoughts there?
No, it just feels so good. Yeah, keep doing it.
Yeah, so you can find us at reimaginefayettecountyorg. You'll find our pitch deck there, which shows a vision for the community as we imagine it. And everybody that joins that vision expands and grows. Some of the things we're working on early this year are communication agreements, creating a PMA, a private membership association, which give us maximum protection from the government bodies, maximum sovereignty and freedom to co-create a community where we can live in harmony with one another and our earth.
And it is very much a collaborative co-creation. So we're open to ideas and open to other input, and we want some more people to play with and create with.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. This was so much fun.
Thank you.
Bye for now, everyone.